Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Knit California podcast. My name is Leslie. I am Knit California here on YouTube and also over on Instagram, and this is episode number 18. I am filming. Today is Friday. Today would be my typical upload day at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And I didn't get a chance to film this episode earlier this week. Basically, I was not feeling motivated or inspired at all to do it on Wednesday when I would normally film. Yesterday I was at the office all day, didn't get home until after dark, and then had to do some things around the house. We are getting our entire downstairs flooring replaced today, so if you hear any banging or loud noises, that's what that is. I'm gonna try to get this all wrapped up before the real install happens where they're banging each of the boards, but that's what's happening. Basically, we bought this house. It was a new build a year ago, last July, and right as the 1 year mark was coming up for us, we realized, well, a little bit before then, but we realized that we were having all these bubbles in our floor, and some of the planks were volcanoing like this, and we were this is not normal. So we submitted a claim, and they are finally here today to replace the entire floor. They did come out a couple months ago and replaced part of it, but they didn't have, you know how this goes, they didn't have enough materials to replace all of the problem areas. And we were like, you came out and measured, why didn't you have enough materials to replace all of the areas that have problems? Well, it was this whole long thing. I guess claims were submitted to get different people to fix it, but the manufacturer owned up to their error and is here today replacing the entire floor. So it feels like we're moving. We had to move literally everything out of downstairs. So all of our furniture is in the garage, our couches are on our front porch, our dining table is in the backyard. I guess they removed the refrigerator this morning, the dishwasher, and the downstairs toilet so they could, replace the flooring in all of those places as well. So it's a huge operation, but I'm glad it's being done because it was a major issue. Every time you would step in certain areas of the floor, you could feel it you'd step and it would go down. So, not how it's supposed to be. Ready to live up. Yeah, okay, go lay down. Okay, so that's enough about flooring. I am wearing my Oslo sweater by PetiteKnit. Yes, I wore this last week, but I absolutely love it. I have been trying to wear this as often as I can, because it's very soft, it's very comfortable, and I just love it. It rained earlier this week. Hi, babe.
You're making a video today with all the hammering and stuff, Dustin?
Well, I'm going to try and get it done before they're hammering.
Oh, there you are.
Lame. Just let me do it.
Hey everyone. Oh.
Did they move all the fridge and stuff?
I don't know. I haven't been down
Oh.
there.
It rained on Tuesday, so oh gosh. Hey, bud. Buddy had to go to the vet yesterday to get his teeth cleaned, and they put him out, so he's a little tired today, huh, bud? Okay, go lay down. Can you go lay down? Anyways, it was raining on Tuesday, so that was the perfect time to wear this and be super cozy and comfy. And I asked on Instagram, like, what people do in the rain. Like, do you wear your hand knits in the rain? Just because, like, I didn't want to, you know, not that it didn't get soaking wet, but I didn't want it to get soaking wet and, like, potentially, like, stretch it out or ruin it, you know? Which most people just said, like, I just wear it with a raincoat or an umbrella, and wool gets wet. Like, sheep don't wear, you know, raincoats. So I felt a little bit better about that. One person did say they wore a superwash merino sweater and it got soaked and it got really stretched out. So just be careful, but like, if you're wearing a raincoat, it should be fine. Anyway, so that was like the one day where I was like, I gotta wear this and be super cozy and comfy. Yeah, so don't be surprised if you see this constantly on the podcast, because I love it. But okay, one of the reasons why I was like not motivated to film this episode was because I feel like I don't have a ton of progress to share today, and I think it's gonna end up being a little bit of a shorter episode. But I also did ask on Instagram, like, if anyone had any suggestions for like things that I could talk about on the podcast that weren't like podcast related, and it was really nice to hear your guys' suggestions. One of the videos that I have been planning on making is to do like a little bit of a stash tour of like some of these cubbies that you guys haven't seen all the yarn in, but pair it with like how I project plan. So a lot of these yarns I don't have projects picked out for, and what I'd love to do in an episode is kind of showcase all of these yarns, tell you what they are, and then also show you how I go about, number one, like buying yarn if I don't have a project picked out for it. Like, how do I know how many skeins to buy and in what base, that type of thing. And then like the next part of that, how I choose a project for yarn that I already have in my stash. And there were a couple different people that mentioned videos like that, and so that made me feel good, kind of like I was on the right track. So I think soon, within the next couple of weeks, I'll have a video like that. Today I am gonna show you my works in progress because I realized I actually do have a lot of progress on my sweater. And then I have a couple of questions that came through in that question box that I'll answer. And yeah, I do have one small acquisition, so I'll show you that as well. If you have noticed, the like boxes behind me are multiplying. I got another advent in that I had ordered. This one is my Explore Knits advent. I got the 4 full skein tonals, so I'm really excited about that. We don't start opening them until the first week in December, so no spoilers here. Same thing for my Twice Sheared sheep box. Oh, and just I guess an announcement on that. Those are all completely sold out. They have been for a couple weeks now. So there are no more of those boxes, but I do have some insider information that you'll want to follow Twice Sheared Sheep or follow me for kind of more exciting news related to boxes from Twice Sheared Sheep if you're interested or into those types of things, like I am. This is Rocky here, by the way. I don't know, he's very attached to me right now, so he might be here the whole episode. Who knows? I've got Lillipup right over here and I've got Buddy right over there, so I'm just surrounded by the dogs. Okay. It's been like 10 minutes of talking about all of that. Let me show you my Clove sweater. So I'm trying to think, last week I did not have very much of this done at all. I think I just had, did I just have the back panel? Maybe. Well, it looks a lot different now. Doo-doo-doo. It's a little, Rocky's drinking water. So it's kind of hard to see how wide it actually is, because the sleeve like areas kind of roll up on themselves. But we have the back panel complete and the front panel complete, and they are attached, and I am now knitting in the round to finish the body of this. This is the Clove sweater by Rachel Kurihara. She's at Rachel Knits Things on Instagram, and the yarn that I'm using for this is Explore Knits Barrel Aged Sour in Rocky's DK weight. I think this yarn is gorgeous, like deep purple plum colors. So I'm really happy with the yarn. The pattern itself, I have had some issues with, and I don't know. The first one, I feel like the neckline is maybe, like the hole for the neck area is like a little too small. I tried it on, so it does go over my head, but it's something that I'm just keeping an eye on. The second thing is that I did gauge swatch, and the pattern recommends 4mm needles. I gauge swatched first with 4.5mm needles because typically I have to go up a needle size, but when I swatched, it wasn't right. So I swatched with 4mm needles. That looked better. It was closer to gauge, so I'm knitting this with 4mm needles. Fast forward to where we are now, and my gauge is very different than what it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a 22 stitch gauge. I think I'm at 24. That's like 2 stitches off. So when I realized this, I just decided to keep going because that's what I do. I did a little bit of knitting math. It should still fall into like the amount, like a decent number of inches of positive ease, but I'm a little bit worried about it, so we'll see. I guess what I'm waiting for now is I'm gonna finish this ball of yarn, and then I'm gonna try it on, and if I don't like it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll block it and see if I can like stretch it a little bit at this point, but I'm also a little nervous to like block it and stretch it without knitting all of it yet. I don't know. I don't really know. So it probably would be fine because I'm gonna block it again at the end anyways, so we'll see, but that's kind of the update. I am really loving how Barrel Aged Sour is knitting up. The only thing I would say is there are these like little pockets of almost undyed areas, like one stitch, that I'm not super into, but if I have yarn left over at the end, maybe I'll just like duplicate stitch over those so that it's kind of all darker. On the back, I'm not like super worried about it, but on the front, it's kind of annoying. So yeah, that's where we are with that. There are an incredible number of ends to weave in on this already. That was one of the things, like, this pattern already is, construction wise, the basics are the same as this Oslo sweater, in that you start with the back, you knit the panel, you know, you pick up one side and knit over, one side knit over, join in the front, knit the front, join in the round. Like, that's kind of, I think, standard for drop shoulder sweaters. I didn't realize that there were so many different ways that all of that could be done. This pattern has a lot of German short rows, which I was like, how are we doing German short row shaping on this? But it worked. But it was just like a little bit more confusing to me. Maybe it wouldn't be to other people, but to me, compared to like the Oslo sweater. So I don't know, just more information for the comparison video that is eventually coming. I have started taking notes about all these things. My notes are kind of just like, WTF, what's going on here? I don't get it. Let me see. Yeah. Short row shaping? Question mark, question mark. Short row shaping? Question mark, question mark. I don't get it. Too much yarn breaking. There's one section where you pick up stitches with the tail of the yarn. And I was like, what? I've never done that before. Somehow my gauge is wrong, and I'm really sad about it. I did make the mistake of not knitting the back panel long enough. I don't know how I made that mistake. I must have just read the like number of inches incorrectly, because in the pattern it clearly says like 7.5, and for some reason I thought it was 5. But that was an easy fix. I had it all on, you know, stretchy cord, so I just picked it all back up and knit another 1.5 inches. So that was easy. That was my own fault. Okay. Oh, I also did not feel like the armholes were going to be big enough, but I think, if I'm guessing right, that's a gauge issue. So I did add like 10 stitches under each of the arms to hopefully make the armholes a little bit bigger. That'll also help with the body of the sweater being a little bit bigger to kind of make up for my gauge not being big enough. So kind of then the only, like the drop shoulder part, what might end up happening is like, you know, this right here might just be like higher on my arm, which like is fine. We'll see. We'll see. And then the last note I have is that the neck still feels incredibly small, even though it fits over my head. So again, maybe it's a gauge thing. I looked at all the photos on Ravelry of people who have made this sweater, because I thought the pattern, like I thought I was missing something in the pattern. I thought I was maybe reading it wrong, but I wasn't. And it just like this part where you like pick up and you increase right here, I felt like that was incredibly short before you join in the round. And that's where I thought my issue was, but I did what the pattern says, so we'll see. You know, sometimes you really doubt yourself and what you're making, and then at the end it all comes together and it fits. And it blocks beautifully and you love it. So you'll never know until you finish it, unless you give up and frog it and try again. So that's my Clove sweater. My other work in progress is my Oslo Hat, and I don't have a ton of progress on this since last week. I'm still on the brim, so we've got, I think this is probably about 10 centimeters. I have to get to 20, so I think I'm about halfway, if not over halfway. And yeah, once I feel like this is the part that goes by the slowest, because once I like fold the brim and do that, I feel like the rest of the hat goes by so much faster. But that's that. I mean, Oslo Hat by PetiteKnit. I didn't even show you. This yarn is Oink Pigment. The colorway is called Sting Operation, and it's a merino cashmere nylon blend base. I feel like I've talked about the Oslo Hat so much that there isn't that much more to say about it. So that's that. Those are my two works in progress. My champagne cardigan has still gotten no love. I think about it almost every day. So I think that's a good thing. If I don't think about it and it gets forgotten, then maybe I'll never pick it up again. But I have been wanting to pick it up. I just keep deciding to keep going on my sweater instead. So, that's that. The one acquisition that I got was, I got another one of Cassandra. Hey Cassandra! She's at Knits by Nimbus. I bought another one of her D-stash items. This is what I bought last time. If you remember, the Miss Babs blue linen and silk and linen. And she keeps posting things, by the way. You should go follow her at D-Stash with Nimbus, because there's a bunch of stuff on there that she still has for sale. If you really like purples, pinks, lavenders, like, she's got a ton of beautiful yarns in those colors. I have another dog drinking water. Okay. But she posted, this is Explorer Knits Daybreak on Cashmere Caverns sock. This is my favorite base, is the Cashmere base. And I have been wanting to get a hold of this yarn for so long. On her last in-stock update, I missed out because I completely forgot about the update. But this was one of the colors that I really wanted. And I've just been wanting to see this in person. It's like a really dusty, like dark burnt orange with some brown tones in it. Which again, like not really my color, but for fall I really like this. And I kind of wanted to show you this compared to Tawny, which I bought last time. This was in the Fall Tonals update. So you can kind of see. They're very similar, but Tawny is like more brown, I would say, whereas Daybreak is more like red-orange, maybe like a little bit of yellow undertones in there. So they are different, and they are different bases. I don't know if you noticed that as well. This is the Cashmere base, and this is just the 80/20 merino nylon base. So this one's like super twisty, and this one kind of is like less twisty. I don't know how to explain that, but there we go. I feel like I'm building out my brown collection. Which I never thought I would be the one to have brown yarn. But I'm gonna call it burnt orange, so that's that. Put that away. My cubbies are getting too full again. It's a problem. Okay, okay, I wanted to just like answer a couple questions. Someone asked me what happened to your Black Pearl Magic bag, and it still never came. So I am still really sad about it. I'm just waiting. Like maybe one of our neighbors just doesn't check their mail for like weeks at a time, and they somehow got it and will eventually give it back to me, but I'm just waiting. I have to wait 15 days before I can file a claim with the USPS so they can like pay me for it, give me my money back, because it's their fault that it was lost. It clearly said delivered, but it was clearly delivered to the wrong person. So if my neighbor, someone just like stole it, then that's their fault for not delivering it to the right person, right? Anyways, that's that. Very sad. Very, very sad. I'm just crossing my fingers that I'll get it back. Someone will be nice and find it and return it. So, let's see. Somebody asked, I'm curious how it's feeling knitting so many staples. Are you bored of all the stockinette? Yes and no. I keep looking on Instagram, and I have recently seen so many finished Ingrid sweaters by PetiteKnit. That's the one that's like very, very textured with like, I don't know, I'll put a picture of it. But very, very textured, and I want to make that sweater so badly. Obviously it's not going to happen anytime soon because I am on this journey to make all of these staples, but the stockinette is actually really nice. I don't really get too bored with it. If I do get bored working on my sweater, I just switch to my hat, and like the different yarn helps. My hat has a cashmere blend in it, so it's a little bit softer than just the straight DK. So yeah, but no, the straight stockinette isn't boring me yet. Yeah, so those are the two questions that I wanted to share. The last thing that I wanted to do was I just want to start sharing some of my recent Instagram saves and patterns that have come out recently that I really enjoy and want to make. So I've got a few this week that I would like to share with you. The first, I'm going to show you this Ingrid sweater. And I guess I'll just, yeah, I can do this. So this is one that I have seen all over Instagram. This is from Knits by Mandy. Yeah, and she just finished this Ingrid sweater and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And again, I want to knit Ingrid sweater. Knit the Ingrid sweater. But I can't right now. The next one that I want to share with you is from Two of Wands. Alexi Tavel recently came out with a new collection of 6 patterns. 3 are crochet and 3 are knit. She does this like twice a year, like a spring collection and a fall winter collection. And her fall winter collection right now is called the Coastal Collection. And I believe this pattern is called the Cornwall Raglan. And it's this cabled raglan sweater, and I've actually made these cables before. You do not need a cable needle to do it. Basically it's like you knit 2 stitches together, and then before you take them off your needle you knit like right in between those 2 stitches. There's a reel on her page that kind of shows you how she does this, and it's genius. It makes it so much easier than like a full cable. There we go. It didn't, whatever. I'll put the video in. It's so much easier than a full cable, and I just think this sweater is so pretty. I really want to make that. I love the long sleeves. I think that's really cool. Another one that I really liked was this like Henley crochet striped drop shoulder. I think that's really cute if you crochet. And then the third one that I liked, all the garments that she has. This is a crochet sweater. It looks like half fisherman's rib. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Okay. Let's see. The other one that I wanted to share with you today. This is the drawing sweater. And look at all these flowers. This really reminded me of SpongeBob in a way. You know how the background in SpongeBob is all just like the different color flowers that kind of have that shape. And I thought it would be super cute to make one with like a, you know, light blue background and maybe like some different color flowers. I don't know. But I just think it's super, super cute. And the one last thing I wanted to share, I don't think there's just a photo of this. There is not. Let me see if I can just show you the cover. You see that gingerbread house? That's a knit gingerbread house. It's so cute. The little top roof like opens up like a flap. It's super cute. So if I had, you know, more hands and more time in the day, I would love to make that. Maybe next year. But those are my recent saves. I will put the names of all those and the designers and the links to Ravelry in the description below. So if you are interested in taking a look at those yourself, you can do so. That is where I'm going to end today's episode. I'm going to try to edit this as quickly as possible and get it up today so that I don't actually miss a day of uploading. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you get some time to knit, and I will see you next week. Bye!